So one of my clients asked me today, he said, when will I know that I'm at the point where I no longer have to weigh and measure my foods again and still be able to get the results that I want? And if you've been here before, if you're not new, you've probably seen, I think this is the one topic that I have created, I don't want to say maybe the most videos about, but logging and tracking your food has been a topic of many of my videos, and even the videos where it has not been the main topic, it has at least been a piece of those videos. So I am a firm believer, and over the 35 years in my coaching career, I will tell you that the clients that track, that weigh and measure their foods are always more successful than those that don't, because it is very difficult, if not almost impossible, to guess your way to success when it comes to food. So if you know, you know. And if you know how much you're putting in your body, you know how you're doing, and you know how much you need to burn and all that stuff. So my client asked me today, he said, when will I know that I am at the point where I no longer have to weigh and track my food? And this answer is pretty simple. And what I like to do is I still, to this day, I weigh and measure all my foods, and I still track my foods on the same app that I have my clients track their foods on. So what I have got done is, over the years, I have gotten myself to the point where I can kind of eyeball a good majority of foods and be very accurate on the amounts. But this has come from years and years and years of tracking, weighing, and measuring my foods. That does not happen overnight. So what I would do is I would pick random foods and I would guess how much it was, and then I would put it on the scale to see how close my guess was. And what I noticed after weighing and measuring my foods for so long, that over time I got more and more accurate with foods where my guess was closer and closer and closer to how much it actually weighed. So that was when I knew that I was at the point where I no longer had to necessarily rely on weighing and measuring my foods, because I had done it for so long that I could associate what, let's say, a quarter cup of rice looked like on the scale and on a plate on the scale to what a quarter cup of rice looked like off of the scale. So that was my answer to my client. I said, once you get to the point where you can start to accurately figure out how much a food weighs without having to actually put it on the scale, you know you're at the point where you don't any longer have to rely on weighing and measure your foods. Now, you may not be able to do that with pinpoint accuracy with every single food. Some foods you probably will, but you won't probably be able to do that with every food. So you might still need to weigh and measure some of your foods. But again, what you will notice over time from doing it is that eventually you will get to the point where you don't have to rely on weighing and measuring your foods. But the only way you get there is by weighing and measuring your food. So I tell all my clients that weighing and measuring and tracking is a means to an end. Like myself and other clients, I like tracking my foods because it gives me something to shoot for, and it lets me know where I'm at. But not everybody wants to do it, and not everybody wants to do it forever. So if you're weighing and measuring your foods, or if you're hesitant on weighing and measuring your foods because you feel like you're going to be stuck doing it forever, just understand that there will come a point where you will not have to rely on it as much if you follow this recommendation. So again, take your favorite foods, weigh and measure for a few weeks, a few months, and then start to run these tests with certain foods. Put the food on a plate, guess how much it is, and then put it on the scale and see how close you are. And then keep doing that. And you'll notice that maybe not every time, but you'll start to get better. and you'll start to get closer and closer and closer. And that is when you'll know that you're still, I mean, I guess you can say you're still guessing, but you're taking a more educated guess, allowing you to not have to rely so much on tracking. So let me know what you think about this tip. Let me know if you use it. Let me know if you've got any tips that you've used to make tracking, weighing, and measuring your foods easier. Leave those below in the comments to help further this conversation and to help other people out. And if you need help on your journey, click the first link below in the description. Fill out the form, and the two of us will figure out what we need to do to get you from where you're at to where you want to be. And as I like to say, first coaching call is always free.